Hey everybody, time for Take Action Challenge number 17. I thought I'd do this one outside. I've been trying to get out for a little walk. I've been off for a couple of days, so trying to get out and enjoy the great outdoors, as you can see. So Take Action 17 is all about finding your base. One of the things we can do is control our breathing. That is one of the fundamental things we can do to get ourselves centered and find our base. But let's talk about another few of these things. So for the challenge, I'd like you to consider to try something, if you're not already doing so, to try something to get centered and find your base. One of the things, as I was saying earlier, is to center our breathing. So let me just look at my journal and see where we're to. So why I use the acronym BASE is because I'd highly recommend checking out the podcast from this challenge, which is Shrink for the Shy Guy. I will put a link down below. But BASE in this from this context stands for number one. I'm going to go a little bit in the woods now just to break up some of the waves, get away from the noise a little bit. So yeah, let me just get in here and get settled and find somewhere where I can slow down and get my breathing under control. So BASE stands for breath, assess the situation, smile and shift your eyes, and eliminate shortcuts. So change judgment to curiosity. So let's just look at that a little bit. One of the things we can do is, once we get in a situation or we're unsure or our anxiety gets out of control or we're feeling lonely, as we talked about in the last challenge, we can adjust our breathing. So it recommends a box breathing. It's something the Navy SEALs, snipers use to get their breathing under control so they can get into the present moment and concentrate on their target. It simply involves slowing your breathing down, breathing in for 4 seconds, holding that breath for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and holding again for 4 seconds. So it's like you're in the box and you go around to all 4 corners. And this, you can do this for a couple of minutes to really get slow down your mind, slow down the situation. Then assess the situation. Is there any danger? I'm here now, there's no danger, there's no bears, or there's nothing around that can hurt me unless I get a little bit too close to the edge. But I can assess the situation and make sure that that does not happen. Number 3 is to smile and shift your eyes. So smiling is a great thing to do to change your state a little bit. And by shifting your eyes around, especially in the environment I'm looking around and seeing, oh, look at all this nature. But just shifting your eyes can change your focus a little bit and get yourself out of your head. And I'm sure there's a lot of other benefits to smiling and shifting your eyes. In the podcast, they mentioned a study where people had an 80% reduction in cortisol just by smiling, or putting a pencil or something in your mouth to kind of mimic a smile for so long. And then the last one is to eliminate shortcuts, and that is to change your judgment to curiosity. So instead of immediately making a negative judgment about a situation, we can change it to curiosity. How can I change the situation? How can I make it better? How can I change my thoughts about this situation? So try to examine your judgments. So that is the the base, and it also reminded me of one I learned from Pathways, which was I think it was, if I remember correctly, the 3 steps, first aid for anxiety. So if you get in a state kind of similar, the first step was to, I guess, assess in this situation. It was to bring yourself to the present, use your senses, look around, see that the environment is safe, and then say to yourself, I am safe. That tells your brain that even though you're having a fight or flight reaction, although I'm safe now, my butt is starting to get wet. So by assessing the situation, I'm able to get up and address that cold, wet butt. Anyway, back to number 2 is again the breathing thing. So to slow your breathing down, and of course you can do the 4x4 breathing, the box breathing as we just talked about, but just to slow your breathing down can also slow down your adrenaline and cortisol, slow down your mind, slow down your thoughts. And then the third step is to recite something. Now I use the Serenity Prayer, but you can use anything you want, just something repetitive that you know that you use over and over, so that it kind of programs your mind. I like the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I just like that one because it encapsulates for me everything I need to overcome anxiety. So that's one that is easy to remember and that I use. But of course you can switch out to God, leave out to God, or switch it to whatever you want to. And of course also come up with your own rather than use the Serenity Prayer. So that's the 3-step first aid for anxiety. And of course you can use the base method. If you don't want to go that far, just take some time to work on your breathing, slowing down your breathing. Use the 4x4 method. So we'll leave it there for now. Thanks everyone, and let me know, give me some feedback, and we'll talk again.